Hi, this is Dr. Joshua Baker, and this is an introduction into our pre-calculus course. I am on my side of Blackboard, so your side is going to look a little bit differently. And I'm not going to come up into student preview because of some linking that I'm going to have to do. So let's talk real quick about some syllabus and your calendar and how you're going to do your work and kind of some general expectations. Um, I'm just doing all of this via Blackboard, so you guys can see all of these links and everything in your course on your side. I am working in two locations this this fall. One is OSU Tulsa, so the green office hours are when I will be at the College Park office at OSU Tulsa in the North Hall. The blue are when I'm going to be in my office at my home campus, which you can see I'm not going to be there too much. That's because most of my classes are over at OSU. So this Friday's 9 to 1 online, that's going to be by appointment. You'll need to either call or text or email me in order to set one of those up. So here's one thing I would like for you to do. If you have not done this yet, then pause this video, take your phone out, and text your name to that number. All right. That's my Google Voice number, and it is the quickest and easiest way to get a hold of me. All right. I've got my email address and my office extension here, but if I'm barely in my office, then calling my office extension isn't really the best idea. And if it's after hours, I may not be monitoring my email as closely. So if you text me and say, "Hey, can you go check out that email that I sent you?" or just text me your question, that's fine too. But I don't save your contacts in my phone. I have you text me your name just so that whenever I'm texting with someone, I can scroll up and see who it is that I'm talking to. And there are some times that I'm going to reply to you um, and give you the answer to your question because it's something that's easy to type out. But sometimes it's going to take a little bit of discussion. So I might ask you if you want to hop on Zoom with me. And so if I ask you to hop on Zoom, then that same phone number is the meeting ID in Zoom. All right. So when you open up Zoom, you click join with ID or whatever it is, and then you type in that 918-383-2516, and that is my personal Zoom meeting ID, and so you can meet with me there, and we can talk things out. Maybe I'm not understanding your question. Maybe I don't think that I can text an appropriate answer to your question without just like having that conversation. And I think you guys can understand. Sometimes math is hard to read, and a lot of times it's hard to write. Most of the time, I don't jump to that. Most of the time, I just reply. One other note about this is if you email or text me and I have not replied to you in 24 hours, please feel free to send me a reminder. Okay. I'm just like you in that I get some texts when I am driving and I see them, and I am well intentioned as to whenever I have the intention of replying to it whenever I get to where I am stationary and no longer driving, but then sometimes I forget, which I think is like everybody else. Um, so we've got some expectations here. The biggest thing that we need to talk about right off the bat is that your tests are going to be done in a proctored event. So when we get to the calendar, you'll see the testing windows. What this means is that if you are in the Tulsa area, you need to come to TCC to a testing center to take your test, right? It has to be in a proctored environment. Now, if you are out of the area or traveling or something like that, email or text me, and we will work together to find a location. All right. Your grade breakdown is this: got 200 points for homework, 200 points for your study guides, 400 points for unit tests, and then your final test is worth 200 points. So it is a 1,000 point class, and you can see that I do round up. If you get an 89.5, right? If you get 895 points, I will count that, round that up to be a 90% for an A. So keep that in mind. Let's see here. You can read the rest of this. Here's the thing that I want you to know about academic integrity as far as my class is concerned. Listen, I'm well aware of AI and photomath and Wolfram Alpha and all the other things that you can use. If you use those things as learning resources, that's fine. But if you use them to completely do your work, I'm going to be able to tell. I'm going to be able to tell when you're making 100% of your homework and you're getting 15% on your test, right? It's not going to be too difficult. But really where I'm going to bring this in for this class is when you are taking a test, if you violate the academic integrity of a test in a proctored situation, then that is going to be a major violation. So you might want to read that if you are considering being dishonest with me in that regard. The book is part of our first day access program, and I will show you more about that. It is going to be a good idea for you to have a TI-84. If you don't have a TI-84 on Android, there are emulator apps that are free. I'm an Android user, so I'm not super familiar with iPhone, but I do know that Calculate 84 is on iPhones. I believe it's $4.99, but it will emulate on your smartphone a graphing calculator. And then whenever you go to take your test, you can either check one out or borrow one from a friend or something like that. So if you're trying to get through this class without buying a calculator, those are the ways that you can do that. All right. But if you're going to move on in math, I would highly suggest that you go ahead and get a calculator. You can buy them used off of Amazon and eBay, and you don't have to pay the full price for it. Let's see here. I'll leave this information for you guys to read through. If you are ever having issues with our homework system, this is the link that you're going to go to. OHM support. That's the one that you need to find. And it's here on what page is this? Page 4 in the syllabus. Also on this page, we've got math tutoring centers. This link will take you to the TCC Tutoring Services website, and it's got our locations and the hours and all of that good stuff. And it even has the virtual hours, but you can access the virtual tutoring through this link right here. All right, so that is our syllabus. And now let's talk about our course calendar. Do the same thing here. Okay, so Unit 1's open. Sections 1.1 through 1.3 are due next Friday, and you can kind of see how I've laid this out. Okay, so this review is an assignment. This is the part, the study guide that I was talking about that's worth points in this class. So this review is due on the 18th. It's going to open up, I think I have it opening up the 4th, but it opens up early and you can do it as many times as you would like to. So that review is going to be the best way for you to study for your test. So if you think about this, whoops, that's too much. If we think about this kind of like a Venn diagram where you've got overlapping ovals, really your test questions are think about them as the smallest circle, and the review completely encloses the test. So you're not going to see a question on the test if it isn't on the review. All right. And here's the thing. You're not going to see a question on the review without it also being on the homework. So think of the homework as the large big circle, and then a slightly smaller circle is the review, and then a slightly smaller circle than that is the test. That's the way things go. I really do strive to not have any tricks or trick questions on my test. So you can see right here that on September 18th, test 1 is open and it's due on the 20th. So you need to avail yourself to a proctoring site one time during these 3 days in order to take your test. My suggestion is that you try to go either one of the first 2 days and have that third day as an emergency. So here's one of the things you need to know about TCC's testing centers. If they close at 7 o'clock, they're not going to let you walk in at 6:35 and start a test because you can't finish one of these tests in 25 minutes. When they close at 7, that means that's when they're walking out the door, not the last time for someone to be able to start a test. So keep that in mind. And so you can see how the semester lays out here, right? So like October 14th, that's a Monday. Test 2 is open. Oh, I misspelled it. Test 2 is due on the 16th, and this is kind of the pacing of our semester. All right. Okay. So now let's get into really what you're going to be doing. Whenever you get into this course, you're going to see Unit 1 relations, and then you're going to see textbook resources. If you want to go into the rate of change, we'll go into this one. If you are wanting to read and look at examples from the textbook, here it is. This is open resource, so you can print this. There are some questions that you like. Here's an example, and then you can click show the solution, and it will show you how things were done. There are videos in here, and then there's one where you can try it, where you can look at this and try to figure out what you think the answer is, and then you can see the solution. Same thing here, where you can try and then retry another version of this question. So these resources are all in here, and like I said, the way that this is done is when you click into the online content, the homework is going to be in here, and your textbook sections are going to be here. So if I click in here to relations, and let's do this, let's do domain and range, right? So if we click in here, oh, good night. I want that one. Okay, so here's what the homework looks like, right? And you can see that we can click through and go through to different places. Like you don't have to do things in sequence. You can skip around here, right? Okay, so let's say you get into that homework and you try a few of them and you have some questions, right? Well, if you have questions, then one of the things that you can do is you can come down here and you can go to the domain and range section, right? So here's domain and range, and it's got all of this material here that you can read. Another thing that you can do is above the 1553 online section, there is a document, or there's a place called Dr. Baker's videos. And so when you click into this, here are links to videos that I have. Okay, now these white ones, I don't have a video dedicated to just that. But like right here where it says domain and range, this is included in relations and functions video, which is this very first thing on the list. It's just kind of grayed out because I've already clicked on this one. But if you click on this link, then it's going to take you to one of my videos where I am teaching these topics. Okay. So that is what you should do if you are trying to get through your homework. So really, you're going to be spending a lot of time down here in this Lumen Ohm section, and you're going to be spending a lot of time in this homework, right? So you're gonna come in here, you're going to work on these problems. So if you have questions and you want to try to figure it out, then of course we have the textbook resources right here, but we also have the videos that I have put out. These are on my YouTube channel. Or if you still have questions, you can text me or you can email me and we can set up a time where we can talk. So this video is almost 15 minutes long, which is probably about 14 minutes too long. But I wanted to give you guys an introduction into what you should be doing and what you should expect from this semester and all of that good stuff. So I'm wishing everybody a good luck this semester, and communicate with me If you have any questions, comments, or concerns,